School districts throughout the country are dealing with increasing challenges financially, as there's been a reduction in federal funding, as taxpayers are saying no more taxes, as we're seeing declining enrollments, attendance problems, and enrollment and attendance has so much to do with, in effect, generating revenue for districts. And what happens is most districts deal with it at what I call budget time. And then we try to convince the public that this budget is what we need. And when you begin to deal with it at budget time, rather than kind of building a culture and a process that is year-long and continuous, what we find is at budget time, we worry about the adults who might lose their job. What impact is going to have on me as a taxpayer? But when you deal with it over the long period of time, you change the focus from the impact on adults to the impact on students, the impact on whether the programs we have in place and what we're funding is truly preparing them for that future that is changing very, very quickly because of the changing workplace and society. We've had the privilege at SPN of working with some districts who have been very, very effective at dealing with it. And they're beginning to use a term called strategic reinvestment. And what they're finding is if you deal with it only at budget time, the thing that becomes sacred that they won't touch and nobody will touch are core academics, which are required. And what gets hit are the elective courses, the interscholastic athletics, the art, the music programs, the very programs that kids like the most, the very programs that bring kids to school. But interestingly enough, in the changing workplace and society, those programs are developing the skills of resilience and in problem solving and critical thinking and teamwork, which are becoming increasingly more and more important because AI can't do those skills. Ultimately, we got to prepare kids with the skills that AI can't do, because no employer is going to pay our kids to do what the technology can do faster, more efficiently. So how do you do it? You begin a long-term process of building a culture that focuses on the student's future, not the present challenge of today's schools. The short-term view around budget time is today's schools. I encourage you to think about what these cutting-edge districts are doing on strategic reinvestment, putting in a culture and process that in effect says, you know what? Some of these elective programs, some of these interscholastic athletics, some of these art and music, you know what? I don't even have to pay staff to do them. They're community members that'll do them, that love to do those areas and will volunteer. In other words, as I give you that one example out of many we could give you, what they find is they actually can reduce cost and improve student performance around the most critical skills. I encourage you to take the long look at budget issues, not the short one. Join those districts that are using strategic reinvestment to really reposition their districts for a long-term success for all of our students. Thank you.